Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. There is no single category in Warzone that is as competitive as the SMG category. The SMG meta as a whole is insane. You've got so many incredible options, whether you're looking for crazy good mobility, low recoil, fast TTK, good hip fire. You can kind of get all of it out of this category, but today we're gonna go through and break down the new top 5 best SMGs after we've seen a couple of new meta updates go out here. So we've got a handful of really solid subs. We are on True Game Data here. As always, big shout out to Tony for putting in the work. Site's always linked down below. We've got the C9, the new Dresden or the MP40, the Jackal, Kompakt, Ladra, PPSH, SOG, and LC10 all listed here. We are looking at 300 health combination shot TTK. The graph only till about 40 meters. Realistically, we could even do 30. Like, you're not using subs at that range and beyond. They're just not going to be useful there by any means. We're looking mostly at that first damage range to really see what is the go-to, what is the true standouts in this category. So what can we knock off of this list? I think right away an obvious one is that LC10. Clearly its damage just drops off so early and so harsh that it just can't compete with some of those other choices. It's not a terrible SMG by any means, but clearly not top 5 material. Another one that I think just barely misses the cut is going to be the Jackal here. That's got that slowest TTK in that first damage range. Then its second damage range isn't anything that outstanding either. It's, again, a really consistent SMG, but there are a few more competitive options here throughout. I think the C9 is a mainstay, even though it does have that slower TTK in the second damage range. It's got a really good first damage range and it's super easy to use. The Dresden's insane throughout. Like, it's got a great range, and then second damage range is phenomenal as well. The Kompakt, obviously frying up close to one of the fastest TTKs, really good mid-range as well. The Ladra, really consistent throughout as well. So really it comes down to the PPSH and the SOG for our last spot here, and this is a close call. I think ultimately this is going to come down mostly to preference, and for me, that preference lies with the PPSH. Slightly better close range, mid-range, it just kind of flips back and forth, so it's really going to come down to which gun do you land more shots with. For me, it's the PPSH right now, so I think that one just barely slides in to that number 5 spot, but the PPSH, the Ladra, the Kompakt, the MP40, and the C9, that's about as good of a top 5 as you can make. Let's jump in game, break down the actual order of 5 to 1 and the best setups for each of these guns. As we do so, if you guys find the video helpful, you enjoy it, do me a favor, drop a like on it, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. So first up at number 5 here, I've got the PPSH, obviously just barely hitting that 5 spot. Again, the SOG, a really close honorable mention there, but to me, the PPSH is just a ton of fun. We've seen this thing buffed update after update after update. Phenomenal range here. There's some really good blueprints that have some nice iron sights as well, so you can go through and adjust that as needed. First up here, long barrel gives us that 17.6 meter effective damage range. Phenomenal stat for a sub there. The G grip on here is pretty solid. I do a lot of hip fire with this, although ranger or vertical could also work just fine as well for more control there, so that's going to come down to preference. Really, any of those are great. There's no wrong answer there. Extended 2 going to be a 71 rounder. That's fantastic for all squad sizes. Agility stock for a better ADS and strafe on there, so it's just more agile in general. Then definitely want to use recoil springs on here for some better control, especially with an iron sight based build. Just going to make the gun a lot easier to stay on target. But yeah, this thing's a spray and pray machine, and it's a ton of fun. Then at number 4, I've got the Kompakt. Obviously on the graph, this thing's got one of the best TTKs in the close range, and its second damage range is phenomenal as well. It just does not have the best DPM. You burn through ammo with this thing insanely fast, so you're not able to necessarily get as easy of kills with it, despite the fact that it is so insane, because you really have to master accuracy here. But this setup does go all in on accuracy. We've got compensator for vertical control, ranger foregrip for horizontal control and some sprinting movement speed, and then recoil springs for more of each of those. So this is going to really make the gun a lot easier to use, and hopefully you'll be able to stay on target well with this. I think the irons are pretty clean, so that's not a huge concern there. Extended 3 is only a 60, and with a 1091 RPM, like I said, that damage per mag stat is just not as good as some of these other options on the list, so that's the main limiter here. Lastly, long barrel gives us that 15 meter effective damage range, where, as we saw, that TTK is just insane. So this thing definitely takes some getting used to, maybe more so than some of the other SMGs on this list, but still a phenomenal choice that just absolutely melts. The C9 has obviously been a mainstay in all the meta videos basically the entire year, so a little bit boring to use, but objectively speaking, it is one of the best choices in the game right now, so I think it falls nicely into this 3rd spot here. Just the perfect middle ground across the board: close range, mid range, recoil, mobility. It's doing it all nicely. Long barrel on here, 18.2 meter effective damage range. You love to see that. Ranger foregrip, mobility, and control. Extended 2 will be a 50 rounder. The RPM's not insane here though, only a 732, so you don't have to be too worried about that. Quick draw rear grip for a snappier ADS. I kind of go back and forth with this and the Infiltrator stock. Both of those are good. Then I do like recoil springs just for some better accuracy there. Definitely find that really as a nice safety net, if you will. When I get into the mid-range, I don't have to worry about the gun bouncing too much and me losing a gunfight because of that. So really nice setup here, very aggressive, just solid all around, really. Now at number 2, I've got the new Dresden 9mm, the MP40. This thing is a ton of fun to run around with. It feels like that classic MP40, and it is strong, as we saw on that graph. It's got a phenomenal TTK, clean irons, pretty agile and mobile as well. Compensator on here helping out with some of that control, just makes it a little bit easier to stay on target. Long barrel gives us a 19.9 meter effective damage range, which is phenomenal there. Extended 2 is a 64 rounder, so you're set with that on all squad sizes. Then I double up on mobility with quick draw rear grip for the ADS and an Infiltrator stock for the better strafe speed. So this thing is snappy, it's aggressive, it kills quick, it's got great range, it's checking all the right boxes. And then at number 1, gotta go with the Ladra here. This thing, much like the Dresden, is checking all the right boxes. It's good at everything it does. Agility, it's fast. You can run and gun with this thing. It is easy to use. The iron sights are super clean. It's got great range across the board. First damage range, second damage range, fast TTK in both of those. I just love the feel of this Ladra. Now, it's a close competition. You could argue the C9 could be here. You could argue the Kompakt could be here because of its TTK. You could argue the MP40 could be here. It's just how competitive this category is, right? Here, I'm rocking long barrel, 16.8 meter effective damage range. Ranger foregrip, yet again, love the added mobility that we can get out of this, especially because the weapon itself is not too difficult to use. You don't have to opt for vertical in this case, right? Extended 2 going to be a 66 rounder. That works fine. This is a faster rate of fire, so that added safety net is very important there. Then again, quick draw rear grip for the better ADS. Infiltrator for the better strafe means you are flying and frying, duck dive, dip diving, and dodging bullets like crazy. It's going to throw off enemies with how aggressive you are. It's going to obviously enhance your gameplay as well. Love the agility factor of this gun. Really, I love all these guns. It's, like I said at the start of the video, the most competitive category easily, and I find myself switching back and forth between these constantly. I'm pairing them with my rifles, my snipers, whatever the case is, and I oftentimes will go game to game brand new SMG just because they're all good. I can be efficient with all of them and effective with all of them, which is fun to see. Wish there was some more parity across MW2 and MW3 subs in here, but these are great for what they are. That is going to wrap things up. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like on your way out. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with everything going on in COD. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.